Hello, good morning everybody. Kate Sainor here from My Rehab Fitness and Strong Fit Women Online. And I want to share with you why time is not your barrier to exercise. You are your barrier to exercise. Let me tell you more about that with a few examples to help you see what I'm trying to get at. Now, time is one of the most commonly, I best just check my mic is on. Yeah, cool. Time, by the way, if you do see me here and I'm live, can you just write hello so that I know everything's working and I'm not just talking to myself over here. So time, most commonly cited or expressed barrier to exercise. Motivation is probably one of the highest ones as well, and we often see that with the ladies that join my free community, which you're welcome to join, by the way, if you haven't already. But time is not the real barrier, and there are ways to work around time, and it's one of the things I specialise in. So what's instigated this live today is one of my clients used to struggle with time, and in fact a lot of them used to struggle with time and fitting in exercise, but the desire to change and the want for some of the goals and health and fitness benefits, and you know, some of them have got a particular goal, others just want to feel a bit healthier and make life feel a bit easier. So time was one of the major issues. So what we started to do is just feed in bits of exercise around their life, make exercise manageable to them and feel accessible. And in this process, with this sort of starting to dabble in exercise, getting this kind of sense of accomplishment and sort of finding their exercise mojo, I suppose, and seeing how it can fit in and then feeling the benefits. What happens in this process is this sort of shift in priorities. So where exercise couldn't fit into their life before, it had to be kind of helped into their life by the help of me and a few sort of interesting and varied creative programming methods. What's happened is this shift where they have then started making time for their exercise, and the time was never really the issue. What was the issue was the level of importance they placed on the things they use their time for. So if you've ever quoted that time is an issue for you for exercise, pop a note in the comments. Say, you know, time is my barrier. And we're going to go through a little exercise now, if you'll bear with me, on how to work out what is your real barrier and what you can do to help you sort of shift that if you've got that desire to change. So we're talking about people here that have got a bit of a health and fitness goal, could kind of see that happening, would really love that to happen. But when it comes to it, they're just struggling. So if you know somebody that's like that, or you think there's someone that needs to hear what we're about to talk about, down here you can actually invite people into the live so they can watch it with you now. And I can see we've got a few people joining us now already. So hi and thank you. So, right, this is called the importance scale. And I use it with clients as part of my initial consultation, and I often use it with people to understand what they need from me to help them move forward, because I do specialize in helping you create a sustainable habit. You can Google workouts and things like that. Hey, I give heaps away in my free stuff, but actually doing them can be a real issue. And if that sounds like you, give me a thumbs up. It can be a bit like that for all of us. So imagine a scale from 1 to 10, where 10 is the most important thing in the world. You would not put anything else before it. It is the most important thing to you. And 1 is really little of importance. Now, think about your health and fitness goal. If you want, type it in the comments below for me. Now, your health and fitness goal, and I've done other videos about how to set great goals, but for example, it might be to tone up your body. That's quite a common one with the people I work with. Other common ones are to get stronger, to learn to activate your core. It might be to do a full push-up. We've been talking about push-ups a lot this week because my 28-day push-up challenge starts next week. And again, you're welcome to join that. There are links all through the feed, or just write push-ups in the comment and I'll pop a link there for you. So it could be really specific to just doing one push-up, or it could be a little bit broader just to improve your health and fitness. So write your goal in the comments or on a piece of paper. Now, think about that goal and tell me on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is that goal to you? How important is it on a scale of 1 to 10? Write the number in the comments. I do have my computer. If I refresh the screen, excuse me leaning into you, I've just got it just behind you here. Hopefully I'll see some of your comments come up. Don't forget you can tag someone in this as well if you want them to see it. So have a look at that number. Say, for example, you put it as a 7 out of 10 in terms of how important it was. My question to you, and I've got 2 to follow, is why is it a 7 and not a 5 out of 10? So what makes it a little bit more important than just a 5 out of 10? Write it down, pop it in the comments, and let me know. What makes it a 7 and not a 5? So for example, I have a health and fitness goal. I'd like to be able to run a 10K. Now, if you know me and you've seen my posts, I'm an ex-Olympic weightlifter, 3 Commonwealth Games. I don't do running. I do HIIT training. I can jump. I can run 5K. 10K is a bit out of my comfort zone. I would like to be able to do it because basically I can't right now. I might be able to. I'd probably be a bit sore the next day. So for me, how important is it that I do that? It's probably about a 6.5 out of 10. Now, the reason it's a 6.5 out of 10 on importance and not a 4 is because I believe as a personal trainer, to be able to do this, it should be one of my base level kind of fitness things. For me, fitness is about all encompassing right now. I'm not training for a specific event, so I feel like I need to be strong enough to be able to just jump into a CrossFit challenge if I wanted. I also want to be able to be fit enough to jump into a 10K so that I can pretty much do any physical challenge that you want to throw at me and not have to worry too much about whether my body's up to it. So that's why it's there in terms of importance. It'd also be quite nice to have a different goal. I've always been quite a goal-setting person, and at the moment it's just health and fitness. So the next question then, you've seen why it's important to you. Here's why it's not important. Tell me, why is it not an 8? Or rather, what would it take to move it from your number, 6 or 7 in my case, up to an 8 or a 9? What would it take to increase its importance? And this is where your barriers lie. So have a think about it. Now, as an example, what would it take to move my 10K importance from a 6.5 up to an 8.5 or 9? Ooh, that is a tricky one. What would it take? I suppose it would take a greater love of running, which is why it's not particularly important. It would also, what would it take to move it up? I don't know right now. See, this is a really interesting one, isn't it? I guess if I was struggling, you know, for me, I've got my fitness in other areas and I just don't place a huge amount of importance on running 10K, which is going to make it challenging for me to stick with. So I guess a deadline would help me move it up in importance. So I'm going to set one. Those of you that know, I've been chatting about it a little bit. 25th of July is the next event. Having that deadline and entering would raise it from a 6.5 to a 7.5 for sure for me. So automatically now when I'm choosing what to do training, if I've got that deadline, that event booked, I'm going to be more likely to stick with it. Another thing would be to book to do it with a friend, which is what I'm going to do, because I don't like letting people down. I also don't like being beaten, or I don't like struggling with something. I quite like being good at things. So if I'm doing it with a friend, I'm going to work harder because I don't want to be the one holding us back in our run. So that's going to take probably me from a 7 to a 7.5. Now, how can I actually move that to an 8? Because we really need it to be at least a 7 and above for you to be successful. And that's the key with this importance ruler. When I'm chatting to clients, if they tell me a 7, often I actually don't start working with them straight away. And yes, as PTs, we do sometimes suggest that we don't start working with you because for me, I want you to be successful. So if you'd say, if your importance is a 7 or below, you've got some work to do before you even start going. Once it gets above 7, then you're ready to kickstart it. So I'm now at a 7.5, but I want this to be an 8 because I want to make sure that I do my training for it. So the thing that would take it from a 7.5 up to an 8 for me would probably be seeing results. And that's often a thing that's quoted to me by clients as well. And feeling it get easier. So I start my training a couple of times a week runs. I'll probably start with 5K runs. And when they start feeling easier, feeling like it's going to be possible is what's going to boost the importance to me. I'll start getting it. So I hope that example helps. The key here is how important is this thing for you? And the client that instigated that I spoke about at the beginning, it used to be when she was given a choice to do some work or do her exercise program, she was really honest and she said, I will always choose my work at the moment. That's absolutely fine. What we did was actually make sure that her exercise was never planned on her busiest work day so that she never had to make the choice, because we knew if she had to make the choice, exercise is going to lose out. That's okay. We can work around that. Interestingly, what happened just last week after working with her since last year is that she had a choice between a client and doing a workout, and the client was a bit, oh, you know, maybe I can book in or not. And she said, actually, just let's book in for next week. And she turned down the client so that she could go and do her workout because she knew she had a busy weekend and didn't want to miss a session. So she's actually flipped. Exercise was more important than her work for the first time ever, and that's a massive mind shift. So her level of importance has gone from about a 6 to do this goal up to about an 8 or a 9 now. So how important it is for you, and remember, if it is a 7 or below, you need to do a little bit of groundwork. And if you want help with that groundwork, I am happy to help. You can book a 10-minute free consultation with me. And if you are 7 or above and you are ready to get going, come and join me for my 28-day push-up challenge. It is just 4 minutes a day, and it's a great way to kickstart your exercise habit, get to know me, learn a whole heap about how to do a push-up correctly. And in the process, you will improve your push-up. It's not all push-ups, by the way. There's a whole heap of other exercises. Your core strength will improve. You're going to shape and tone your upper body and just get a little bit more confident in that movement. So if you're interested in that, write push-up below and I will pop the link there for you. Thanks for watching. Do share your thoughts on your goals. I would love to hear, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.